Hey, how's it going, everyone? I'm PartyManX. This is Geom Cube. It's basically 3D Tetris. Let's just get started in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so as I said, this is 3D Tetris. That's basically all you need to know. You see on the top there it says Faces 21. That's how many basically lines I've cleared, or how many I have left to win. Otherwise, the objective is to get our opponent to the top of their well, or what this game calls the pit. And that's basically it. So this game is kind of hard. It's based off of an old PC and arcade game called Blockout, which people are scary good at. I don't think I'm as good as them at this game, but it's fun. So Blockout kind of started out as this PC game, and then was ported to arcade by Technos. There's our first win. And like that arcade version was just really good, and I guess they felt like making another one, so this is kind of the spiritual successor to that, which adds this versus mode, which is kind of the fun part of speedrunning it. So we're up against 8 different opponents. This is our first one, the Geom Fighter Core. He's very bad, or she rather, I'm not actually sure. And yeah, this fight's extremely easy kind of to just get you into the game. It's kind of fun to just see how many lines you can clear at once. Like I got a quad there. And yeah. There we go. And that is core done. And now the game is going to ramp up in difficulty a little bit more with key.irin. I'm looking at the manual in front of me, and it's not the same as what the game says, which is a really good sign of quality. So this is kind of a launch title for the PS1, so you can kind of see that weird 90s style going on here, where this almost feels like a 3DO game. It's really goofy. So kind of my strategy when I play this game is to try to form a little well that's 2 blocks wide, basically, to fit the most pieces in possible. Well, and I'm playing a little slow here, but now we can get a bunch of blocks in there. Let's see, I'm just going to play it safe and try to clear a bunch of stuff at once. It looks like they are having trouble there. They're at a height of 10, and yeah, 11 is where you top out. If any of your active piece intersects with that 11th row, you're out. So I've kind of got a weird stack going on here where I had a hole kind of in the middle there. I don't really like that because it doesn't really let you pack things in as well as you'd like. So here's a good example of the 2 wide strategy kind of shining there, where I could fit that T block in there where it didn't really have anywhere else to go. So then I was able to clear some stuff pretty easily. So you can see my opponent there is kind of has a bad stack, so now I can just kind of clear as much as I want, and they're probably not going to clear too much to respond to it, and there we go. And that is our second fight won, our second match won, and we are going on to Geom Fighter Zone. So one of the interesting things about this game is that there's some really good little cutscenes between each fight, but they take forever because they were really wanting to show off the power of the PlayStation with these 3D models. So you can just hold start before they actually play, and then you won't see them. This fight's really kind of easy, but it's just extremely slow most of the time because this stack formation is just extremely easy to keep clearing on, getting all clears. By the way, all clears, when you get them, it doubles the number of garbage you sent, which I guess I never explained. So when you clear a face or a line or whatever you want to call it, it will send an equal amount of lines to them, and it will just copy the bottom of their stack. So generally you want to have your bottom of your stack just really well done, really well organized, so that you can just keep cascading clears upon clears and overwhelm your opponent. And then that's also a nice little mechanic because you can look over on the other side of the screen and say, just a second ago, the opponent had just a really bad stack if it were to be copied. So it can get scary sometimes if your stack is whack, as they say. So yeah, this is a good example of just one that's going to be really slow, especially with my opponent's stack right now, because he's probably not going to get an easy intersection there to force him out, but we might just run up on the face limit there. And another all clear here. And yet another one. This might actually force him out. Yep, now he can't rotate because the AI isn't good enough at rotating things to be able to fit them in there, and we won. So that was pretty slow. See, I've got 3 faces left to get the forced win, but whatever. And then you can see the game kind of hitches there as it loads the cutscene that we don't even watch, which is kind of funny. So now we're up against Geom fighter Lisa, the last of the regular Geom fighters. She likes to rotate things, if you haven't noticed. Because Geom Cube is all about the fun you have with it. Oh no, I'm gonna have to cover up my well there, but open it up real quick there. So these 3x3 matches can very often go up to the face limit, but there we go. We got one win there pretty easily. Now we have to wait for the next one to start. It counts down all of your stack there, which is kind of nice to see, oh, where did I screw up? But also is a little slow. And we've got kind of a weird stack going on here. I'm probably just gonna lower it there. And we're almost back to our 2 wide. There we go. Now we're pretty smooth sailing. Maybe? Oh no. Alright, we're gonna have to be a little weird here. I think I'm gonna lose this one. Yep. Alright. That's 1 loss, but we get 2 chances before game over, and the game just lets you continue anyway, so. Yeah, these 3x3s can get a little difficult because your opponent's just going to be clearing a ton of faces because they're really good at clearing the ones that you send. There's just so little room to fill up. I've been kind of talking over it, but the music in this game is a jam. It's just extremely 90s. It's so good. Listen to that guitar. Oh no, there we go. So one of the kind of annoying things and also kind of nice things about this game is that all of the rotation is interpolated. So you can see the way everything rotates, but also you can't do anything while it is rotating. Oop. And that's a second loss there, so we're going to get a game over, which is annoying because it's the world's slowest game over screen. So has to play that little bit of music before the continue timer comes up and before we can actually continue. I'm just buffering the start button here, and there we go. Let's see. So one of the kind of difficult parts of this game is that rotation. Like, you only get one rotate button per axis. So oftentimes you have to go the long way around for rotations. Let's see. I think my commentary is going to get a little sparse here as I just try to focus. There we go. That was a really easy win. I don't even know what happened there. Alright, and the game is giving me some pretty bad pieces for this. There we go. Kind of destroyed my placement for that L there, but that'll have to do. She's clearing stuff pretty fast, which is a little scary, but we're pretty far ahead now. There we go, and she's having trouble rotating, so we just need to push. There we go. And that is Lisa done with. And we're moving on to the last four. They're all kind of the Geom royalty. We've got Geom Prince Keith up here. You've got kind of weird names going on where like the first ones are like, oh, they're so techie and all this, and then you've got Keith. Just Keith. Alright, so Keith is probably the hardest fight in the game because this stack formation is just so hard to fill up fast. So basically, you just have to get your 2 wide going and let your opponent here just kind of fill it up for you. There we go, and get a nice little triple out of that. This is getting a little scary now because my well is covered and ooh, that was a bad rotation. And this is why I say that this one is hard. Just need to form my 2 wide here, and there we go, kind of. There. Now we can just let that bottom row multiply a few times, and get a few clears off of it. As we kind of stack up our upper stack, try to figure out how everything fits. Alright, we're going to have to speed up a little bit to catch up to Keith there. We're probably going to want to use our little square there. And that's typically not good to clear right to the bottom, but you could hear there's a little siren for 4 lines left, and Keith just kind of destroyed himself there, so that worked out well in our favor. Now we just have 1 win left, hopefully. Alright, the game's being pretty nice to us right now. but we need to start clearing. Let's see, there we go. I'm just gonna cover up the little well there for a tiny bit, just to get a free little clear. There we go, we're pretty far ahead right now, so I can relax a little bit, and Keith is kind of just destroying himself there, and we win. That's the scariest fight out of the way now. So you can see on the bottom of his stack, he had 2 little wells there, which is, like, when you can see that on your opponent's screen, you can really capitalize upon it, and I didn't really notice it there because I was focusing on my own, but I'll pretend that I did. So now we're on to Geom Queen Maria. She's a little scary sometimes, but the 3x3 is just so fast that I'm never too worried about this one. And some more jams going on here. So now we've kind of got our stack multiplying pretty fast, so we can just focus on clearing mostly. Though Maria just had her stack grow on her so fast that she couldn't deal with it. Looked like she had a double well going on as well. And not much to do with that 3 long there, but there we go. Our stack's getting a little high, and it looks like Maria's stack is a little whack, so we can start fighting back a lot. Stack down maybe a little too much, but able to recover pretty fast. I'll just cover my well there for a second, and that was pretty safe. We need to ramp up our clearing here because we're starting to fall behind. There we go, pretty easy win. That level's never too hard. And now we're moving on to Geom King Gear. Kind of weird to just go from Lisa, Keith, Maria to Gear. I don't know. And it has the longest unskippable part of the cutscene where the screen turns white there, and you can only skip after it turns completely white. I don't know why that is, but they really wanted you to see what they could do with the PlayStation. So this fight is pretty difficult, but never too bad. Let's see, we're gonna avoid clearing that because it would leave us pretty open. We accidentally created a hole there that I'm gonna try to fill here. It's gonna be a little slow, but I want this stack completely filled. So now our stack's growing pretty fast, but we win just there. So that's what happens when you clear the maximum number of faces. It just instantly brings your opponent up to 11. Oh, accidentally filled in that hole there, but you can safely clear it out. Alright, our stack's growing on us a little fast. I'm going to keep safe and not fill that. Alright, it looks like pretty smooth sailing so long as we get the right pieces, which is always a question. Are we going to get the right pieces? And it looks like we are. And that's Gear done with. Now we just have one last opponent, and it's the Geom Master Alderon, or if you believe the game, it's Alderon. Apparently the team working on the manual and the team working on the game are different. Alright, so now we got some scary music going on as I accidentally misidentify a piece, but I'm just going to fill in that hole there, and we're all good. So this fight can be a little difficult just because there's so much surface area to fill. It's not quite as much as the Keith fight, but still it's a lot. So you do get one bonus though in that it starts giving you 4 cube long pieces, which allow you to get quads. And those are pretty devastating if you can get them. Like right now. But he's clearing pretty fast, so I don't know if that really did too much or if it just benefited him. And it looks like, yep, that's 1 win. We just need 1 more. And then if I win this, time is coming up when the screen fades out. So that's kind of an annoying thing that happens in these 4x4 levels, is that when you get the 4 cube long piece, you'll often just not have anywhere to place it flat, and you always want to place it flat just to keep your stack as low as possible. Let's see here. We're not really getting too much to clear with, but we're keeping pace with Alderaan here. I'm not going to clear down to the bottom there. Maybe I should have, though. Oh, no. This stack is getting really high, but luckily we had the space to rotate that 4 cube long piece. And we're starting to outpace him, kind of, but no. He just destroyed us with an all clear there. Yeah, if you can get an all clear with, like, 3 or more, it's basically instant death. Alright, we need to make some space to accommodate when we get that 4 cube. Alright, let's see, I'm just gonna look for a quad here. I'll clear to the bottom just for fun. It looks like we're pushing his stack up pretty far, so I'm gonna start to try and really push it, and that's the win. So now we just gotta wait for this to count down. And time. So now you get this little fun cutscene of Alderaan exploding into crystals, I guess. I really don't know what's going on here. And then you get the credits sequence, which there's a really fun thing going on here where I'm playing on the US version of this game, so there are no credits. On the Japanese version, there are credits, so I don't know what's up with that. So it's just kind of a fun little view of all the character models with some rockin' 90s music. So thanks for watching, everyone. That was Geom Cube. I'm PartyManX. Yeah. Just want to shout out, if you're interested in seeing more of this kind of block stacking, there's an arcade over in Japan that very regularly streams kind of the predecessor Blockout called Ebisen on Twitch, EBI_CEN, I think, and their streams are really fun to watch. Yeah, that's it.
Thanks so much for the great run, PartyMan. Appreciate it. Can we give another round of applause, PartyMan? Great run. And coming up, we are going to have Let's Stat with Scarian, so stick around for that.
Oh, I'm pumped to see that.
Mm-hmm.